Good morning. My name is Samuel Trapp, and I am the Russian-speaking American. Served my country, watched lots of things in the world happen since I served my country as a Russian-speaking interpreter for the arms control treaties to start, well, mostly the INF Treaty and the Nuclear Threshold Test Ban Treaty. And I escorted Russians in that. I watched last night, and I'm a Russian. My Russian is pretty good. I still make my share of mistakes, but where our country, that is America, where our country goes extremely wrong is they never, ever listen to Vladimir Putin. You can think what you want of him. I think that Joe Biden is very much a has-been, very much a non-effect in our political world. Such is not true for Vladimir Putin. I'm not saying they love him over there, but they're certainly for him as a president, and they believe that he is doing what is correct for their country. Ours is the opposite here, probably in the same percentages that think it. I have not seen the latest polls in Russia, but I bet you that guy is at 80%. And you can see why when he gives a speech like the one he gave a few days ago. The only thing you see about it in America, the only thing, Putin threatens nuclear war. Really? If you watched his speech and that's what you took from it, you are completely lying to the American public. That is not what he said. And if you want me to interpret it for you, I shall. What he said was that we are ready. We have no intention. In fact, he got basically the word "bread" is crap. What a bunch of nonsense. What a load of crap is basically what he said. That America thinks that we're going to attack NATO, that we're going to go further than what we're saying in our special military operation, that we want something more than what we say we want. Nobody listens, and nobody translates him properly. I'm not saying he doesn't have huge motives, but don't tell me he said and he threatened nuclear war when you got zero to back it up. And I will challenge any Russian-speaking person to show me anything in there where he threatened nuclear war. I'm in the opposite. He always refers to America and the West as our Western partners. The West. They think that and this is true, not just Putin, the whole elite of Russia, those who aren't bought out by American money and Western money and Western corruption of our own, those who are honestly thinking of the future of their country couldn't help but watch that speech and say, you know what? I'm for this. I may not be for Putin, but I'm for what he's selling. And he's not selling it. That guy will do it. Everything he said was in 6 years, by 2030, by 2030, we will have this. By 2030, this is what our plan is. He was outlining it quick. It made me think of what we used to watch years and years ago in the Soviet Union when you watch the 5-year plan, the 10-year plan, the 30-year plan. He's thinking of the future. He's talking about families. One of the biggest things he put out was how to protect and how to create more families. When are we going to talk about that? All we talk about over here is how to destroy the family. And I don't mean to get worked up over this, but the family is extremely important. And in Russia, they recognize that. Whether you agree with Putin, whether you hate him, whether you love him, they recognize and agree that a family is one man, one woman, and their children. And anything else is the destruction of their very way of life. Why do they have closed borders? They have closed borders and only allow people in for permanent residents that think like they do. Not us. We open the damn doors and say, come on in, criminals. Come on in, anybody that wants to destroy America. Come on in, anybody who wants to kill our police officers and treat them poorly and treat our people like shit. Pardon my French, but come on in. We want you. Why? Because we want to stay in power, and chaos will give us the power that we want. If we can show enough chaos, you were there. Not the same in Russia. And I will continue these all week. I plan to talk about one section of his speech that he gave. But think about this. He talked about the war and their industrial complex, military industrial complex, and what they're doing to grow their economy. He talked about how they're #1 in Europe, the economy now. That's different. I think it used to be Germany. I'm pretty sure it was Germany before, but nope, not anymore. It is Russia, and their percentage of GDP growth last year is the highest. It's higher than ours. It's like now they have, and he said it, they're #5 on the planet. #5 economy on the planet, and growing quickly and doing the right things to make it there. Where's ours? They're building their industrial base, not shredding it. They are talking about families, not destroying them. They're talking about how to take care of their old people, not stealing from them. And anything, you go down the line, and I'm going to try to do this all week. But if you're an American and you don't get a true interpretation of what Vladimir Putin said, and you support going to war and canceling the entire country of Russia, their culture, their history, there's a lot there that's good. A lot there that's good. 1,000 years, ladies and gentlemen. And what do we have? We have, right now, and it's a bad period for us. There's nobody that can deny that. It's a bad period. Things are not going the way we want them to go as a country, as thinking people who consider what's best for the country. None of us are for this. This is not what we signed up for. And you can, but I think the strongest thing in the world would be if America and Russia did something to get rid of wars, to bring peace, to think about the future. Think about what you want, America. You want more war? You want a huge military-industrial complex, and you want to go back to the Cold War when we spent 15% of our GDP, and Russia spent even more than, not Russia, Soviet Union spent even more than that when they were building, and we destroyed them by spending them. We outspent them. That's what took care of them, was their own internal economics. And we just Reagan just pushed them over and they fell by claiming Star Wars. Look at the parallels that we have. Star Wars, nuclear weapons in space. That wasn't part of Putin's speech. He said that was complete nonsense. And, you know, okay, you know, they haven't not thought of it. America's thinking of it. America's selling you something. They're selling you a fear to say, oh my God, Russia's going to blow us up. Russia has no intention of doing that. Its people certainly have no intention or will to do anything like that. They just want to do what everybody wants to do. We want to build for our families. We want to take care of our own inner circle. And how do you do that? You have a strong leader on the end. I'm not saying I agree with Vladimir Putin. Some, you know, the Hillary Clinton types out there will say that I'm, of course, just a useful idiot. But I challenge her to translate or actually read, have somebody translate it, somebody honest translate it, and have her read it and say, how can a man get up and give a speech like that? Oh, he's selling something to his people. Of course he is. What are you doing? You're selling stuff to people, but you're selling fear. That guy is selling the future. Have a very nice day. Thank you so much for listening.